All right, I think we're live. I tell you what, I've already been in the deer camp group chat. These folks are blowing it up. Anthony sharing pictures of. I didn't know Anthony was a big, big is the wrong word. Is a big K fan. Did y'all drink generic Coke? Did y'all drink generic pop? We call it pop. Do y'all call it pop?
I usually just call it by the name, but yeah, I'll say a pop or a Coke or a Sprite or yeah. I definitely don't say soda. that's
No,
one I
soda's
don't
kind of
say.
yeah. Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's been
Sorry,
fun
I got
that the deer chat has been blown up. It's been fun to see the
the deer
conversation.
chat's been blown up because you got a bunch of alcoholics who oh my gosh, I hear footsteps coming down my stairs.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, she's already been grounded. Like I had to ground. It's been a day. It's been a day. But
That
anyway,
happens.
a little. See, Anthony's here. Here we go. Anthony's here. Listen, if you're here and you're watching, here's what I want you to do. I want you to like it. I want you to share it. I want you to comment, and I want you to stay the whole hour. And I want you to just join the conversation. Just join the fun. Deer season's winding down. We can talk about deer hunting. We can talk about whatever you want to do, fishing, hunting, camping, drinking, shooting, whatever. But just come and join us. Don't be a lurker. Don't say, I say this every week. Don't sit there on your phone and just listening. Click on it, comment, just say hi, right? Just say hi. So we like that. Now, listen, I have to issue an apology tonight. I'm going to wait on some more people to get on here because I don't really know who I'm apologizing to. I think I do. It's 3 people I'm apologizing to, Mike. And look, I'm not above apologizing. I'm not above admitting when I'm wrong. It's not often, but I've messed up. I've messed up. I need to confess tonight, and I'm going to do that. Let's see here. Who's talking to us? Jimmy's here. Anthony's here. Gary Cott watching all the way from Birmingham. Gary's buddy's probably out having dinner. He stayed back in the hotel to watch us. Tommy Bowen is here. I started with the bourbon text in the chat. You're welcome. You did. Now, Anthony, I want you to bring that energy over to the podcast. I don't call it a podcast. Everybody else does. But I think we just need to go ahead and say, hey, it's a live podcast every Tuesday night. And we need to start putting the audio out. We've said that for months, but we just don't. But yeah, bring that energy here. I started. Hey guys, coming up from Georgia to do some doe management. Come on, brother. We need some. We need some taken out. I'm sure not getting it done, so hopefully you are. Tony says, good evening. Anthony says, I'll be back in Eastern Kentucky bear hunting this weekend.
Awesome.
Man, I'm not going to go.
Yeah, I wish I could, man. I'm knee deep in basketball stuff.
I'm knee deep in I'm behind in work is going great. Yeah. Very thankful for that.
For sure.
Basketball, I'm coaching Ellis's basketball team. Very grateful for that. It keeps me busy. And we lost the first game. Oh, dude, I was fired up. But we're better than that team. They won't come within 10 points next time. I really think we can win the whole thing. I think my team can win the championship. Bad first game.
It happens.
But, dude, the rest of my life, like my house, I just can't. It's a wreck. It's upside down. Christmas, I'm behind. So I got to take this weekend off from hunting. The girls are with me. We're gonna go do some fun stuff over the weekend. And so I'm not bear hunting. This is the first year in 3 or 4 years I've not bear hunted at all. I'm pretty sad about it. Thanks for rubbing it in, Anthony. Mike, we had a blast, don't we? We have a blast.
Oh, it's awesome.
It's so much fun.
We do, man. It's awesome.
Just being on top of the mountain. Seriously, I say this, but it seriously is a top 5 place in the whole world for me is being on top of that mountain in Harlan. I mean, not just being on top of any mountain, but being on top of that mountain is what I love.
Yeah,
Noble Ratliff is in Pike County. We may have, I talked to someone earlier who made a shot on a big buck in Pike County. Not found it. Calling in the drones to see if they find it. Hopefully they do. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not going to say who it is because I don't want, if they don't find it, I don't want to say that, right? So
sure, it'll hurt. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm waiting on Joshua, my brother, to show up. because he is the one responsible for distribution. So when he gets here and he shares out the live, that's when we get a lot of folks watching. But he's got a newborn. Maybe he's running late. I'm starting to get a little impatient. It's 6 minutes.
Hey, listen, we also do have muzzleloading this week for the week. So
yeah, talk about why I send a text right here. Will you do that?
Yeah, absolutely. Muzzleloading starts on December 14th and runs through the following weekend. So it's an extra week we have that we can get the black powder out and get after some deer. I'm still looking for a buck. I'm hoping to get out a little bit. It's definitely gotten crazy. So hopefully, if you all are available, just get out there. We've got a temperature drop coming in later this week. Actually, maybe tomorrow, starting tomorrow. So hopefully things get going again. It's gotten warm recently. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of knocked movement down. I don't know what everybody's seeing, but we're not seeing a whole lot on camera. But hopefully that with that temperature drop and we can get back into the cold temps, it gets things moving again.
Now listen, you guys know, right? We've got 26 people watching. You guys know, if you know Michael, right? I love Mike. Mike is like a brother to me, right? Josh might get a little jealous, but Mike tends to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer, right? Just a tad, Mike. Do you agree? Just
I lean on the negative side. I
he
do.
leans on the. He doesn't lean there, guys. Like he's way over there. But I love it. Like I'm not, Mike. I love you. You can say it back.
I got it. Well, I love you too, man. You're a good man.
Oh, look
You're
at
a good
there.
man.
But anyway, for real, Mike is going to always rail against late season deer hunting. True.
It is.
Mike, it's yes or no?
100% true. 100% true. And I'll tue you why.
That doesn't mean that his experience is your experience, right? So Gary said not negative, maybe over realistic. What is that, Gary? I mean, it's either realistic or it's not. Is it over realistic?
I mean, like I said, it's one of those things where I think we all. I mean, some people really don't struggle late season. They don't. Some people love it, and it's where they do the most damage.
Can I just be honest?
It's been awful for me throughout my whole hunting career. It's just not great.
Well, here's the thing. I can't say I struggle early season. I struggle mid-season. I struggle late season. Like I just struggle. Like I was out there at Fort Knox on Sunday, and y'all probably get tired of us talking about it. I was out there at Fort Knox. Our buddy Tim Callahan crushed a huge buck at Fort Knox Sunday morning. Right, Mike? Yeah. Did you see it?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
I mean, he got a really nice buck, just wide antlers.
Mm-hmm.
There he is. Not the devil. I love him. Speak of Tim, there he is. Crushed a buck on Sunday morning. I sat in a place, I'm not going to share the area. I sat in a place where I have a buddy who sat in the same place I sat, killed the biggest deer he's ever killed at Knox, and had 18 deer in there at one time.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, you know what? I'll give that a shot. The game warden talked to me before I walked in. He's like, oh, man, if you just want to kill a doe, he's like, you'll see all kinds of day. Because I didn't see one deer. Now, that's unusual at Knox. Usually you see deer.
Yeah, usually you see them.
It's just like a curse. I didn't see one deer. And I was not really frustrated. It was a great day. I sat out there just by myself, contemplating life, right?
Maybe as one would when you're not seeing anything.
Right. Trying to find a date to a Christmas party this week. I don't know. Just all kinds of things. Just sitting out there by myself. It was fun. I enjoy it. Tim says he got crushed by a buck too. So now he told me this, and I'm not seeing evidence. So can we give a little backstory on Tim?
Yeah,
Tim,
absolutely.
Phenomenal guy. Not the best luck. So Tim sends us a picture like, I don't know, 6 months ago, and he's literally missing part of his finger because he had an accident with a skill saw. And then this Sunday morning, Tim kills the biggest buck he's ever killed at Fort Knox. I'll show the picture here in a little bit. You got to wait till the end to see the picture. Sorry. And he's dragging the buck up the hill. And he stumbles. Now, if you've ever dragged a buck, it don't matter if it's a big buck or little buck. It sucks. If you're dragging a doe up a hill, it sucks. It's just it sucks. So poor Tim. He falls, and he told me he fell about 50 feet, and he
Ooh.
broke his wrist. Now, I didn't
Oh,
ask him,
no.
hey, did you break the wrist on the same hand in which you lost part of a finger? Because that would be tragic. I don't know. Tim, did you? Is the missing finger anyway, sorry, I got distracted. Is the missing finger on the same hand of the broken wrist? Anyway, just bad luck. PK says game warden saw my harvest log and said, I'm not going to repeat that on the air, and my daughter might hear, you're almost tagged out. Yeah, the game warden asked me for my harvest log, and I was like, oh crap, I don't have one.
Oh,
But then I
no.
found last year's in my backpack. So luckily they don't have dates on them. He's like, oh yeah, you're good. It's like, oh, thanks, bro. Gary Gooden, just a little FYI for your information from Ohio, 87,000 deer taken last week during gun season. That's a pretty good number. We have 80,000 followers on our page, and we just now got our restrictions lifted, and we hopefully will start growing again. So that's why it's important you guys share this. I don't know where my brother is. He's running behind. He better be changing a diaper. So listen, let's talk. I just want to talk to y'all. Like, I just want to have fun. But let's talk a little bit about late season deer hunting. Now, I'm going to give Mike the floor here. You know I don't do that much. I like to talk. I'm going to give Mike the floor. Mike, I want you to give your best negative reasons why we should just stay home.
Negative reasons?
Well, that's how you feel. Yeah. Like, are you going to hunt anymore, Mike?
Yeah, I'll probably hunt a little bit more. It won't be a lot. It won't be a lot. Like I said, my schedule's crazy, but I would like to go.
Let's say this. Just give us the reasons why you think hunting late season is just sucks. It's just not worth it. I just want to hear your 2 cents on it. And I want to know if people agree with you or disagree. Right? So go ahead and do that.
So one of the things that I personally struggle with is I just literally don't see deer. I don't see deer. When I hunt, I go. I don't see anything. I hunt morning. I hunt evening. It's just I have a lot of trouble seeing deer late season. And this is also coming from somebody that hunts a small private property that gets hunted from September to basically mid-December or late December. So, but it's just one of those things where I think deer have been pressured so badly on our property that they tend to kind of skirt or go around where we hunt. But so I guess some of my top reasons is I just don't see deer. The deer numbers are just really rough. We don't see a lot of deer. You know, we have a lot of food sources as well. We have decent bedding as well. So, it's not like we don't have the things that they need. It's just they're not there when we're there. And it's just, it feels like it's hours upon hours sitting and not seeing a deer. Honestly, that's it for me. It's real. That's the big one is that we just don't see deer.
Listen, yeah, so I said I have a confession to make. I need to apologize. I have several confessions to make tonight, too. I was just thinking today, like, you know what? I was just thinking about this hunting season, just reflecting, just a time of reflection, right? We all need that in our lives. Try to improve, try to adjust, adapt, overcome, whatever. And I thought, man, these are things I need to talk about tonight, right? So every Tuesday, like I was sitting there, I always felt my hat's crooked. I was sitting there at work today. I was frustrated. You guys aren't going to understand what I'm going to say, but I just lost $700 on a deal at work. Overall, not a big deal. Man, it hurts, though. It really hurts to do that. And so I was sitting there frustrated, and I was talking to my buddy. I was like, oh, man, I got to do the show tonight, too. I forgot it's Tuesday. I don't even know what I'm going to talk about. So I sat there in the next few hours reflecting. And I just realized, like, there's some things we just need to talk about. Right? And I'm going to get to that. But the first, we got a lot more people on here now in the 40s. The first apology I need to make is if you see below 500 comments giveaway tonight. Listen, guys, we have 3 people win giveaways. Those items. Now, look, this is me just opening up here with my closest friends, pals. Those items are still in my truck. I have your names. I have your addresses. I'm so sorry. But I've not mailed those items that you won. And I apologize. But tonight, I'm leaving work early tomorrow. I got to get a haircut. My hair is just a mess. I got this Christmas party on Thursday. Tonight, we're going to give something away. Guys, I don't even know. Like I'm looking around, like I have
if you need me
I have
to,
this. Like, why do I have that? Right?
I've got a safety orange hat with this
Oh,
logo on it and a deer antler.
Mike,
Um,
that is guys, who would want that? Hold that back up there, Mike. Hold that
yeah,
back up there.
I
Who would
got it in
want
there.
an orange, a blaze orange about this color? Like I'm within
Yep.
arm's reach of so many things right now.
Yeah.
If I had like a 360 this room, you'd be like, dude.
Hold on, I'll get it.
But who would want a blaze orange? A blaze orange Eastern Outdoors hat. They're nice hats. I have one somewhere. I don't know. Or we could do a Fox Pro hat. Oh, Mike, that's a nice hat. Mike, do you really want to give it away? It's like a $35 hat.
It is.
This is a hat from work. This is okay. So, Mike, do you think 500 is enough? I don't think we'll hit it tonight. I don't think we'll hit it tonight. But if we get 500, Mike's gonna and look. Mike is way more responsible than me. He will ship that thing tomorrow. He's probably got to go to the post office anyway. They ship all kinds of stuff.
Yes, we do. My wife is busy as all get out right now. We've been cranking out shirts and all kinds of stuff.
Have you? Yeah. So if you are a person that needs gifts for the holidays, hit up what's it called? Red Barn
Farm Designs. Yep.
I knew that right on cue. So like if you need teacher gifts, he's got the best teacher gifts. Like just buy them, give them to your kids, take to school.
We can do epoxy pins and t-shirts and hoodies and all kinds of stuff.
When I was a teacher, I was like, just give me gift cards.
Gift cards.
Give me gift cards. Right. Feed me during the holidays. That's it. We need to get to 500. You're right. Nice hat. Okay. So that was my first apology. Now here's my second apology. We're going to get back to hunting late season. Guys, this is a safe space. This is a time of openness. So I just want to hear your honest thoughts on what I'm going to say. I have hunted a lot this year, comparatively. Like some of you've hunted way more. And, I have my girls in my current situation. I have my girls every other weekend. I have them half the time, but every other weekend as well. And so the weekends I don't have them, I'm usually hunting at least one of those days. And I just got to the point, man, where I'm like, I was thinking today, like, I got to have a break. Like I've been going day after day after day doing something. Even if I'm not hunting, doing something.
Yeah.
And I'm just, oh gosh, Mike, I hate to say this. I will be relieved when deer season is over. I can't wait for it to get here in September, but there's a part of me that's like, I'm still going to hunt through January, but I will have a sense of relief. Like, okay, it's over. I don't have to get out there and try to fill these tags anymore, and I can get a break. Does anyone else feel that way? It's okay to admit it, guys. Look, we're all, don't tell your wives that, right? Because they're like, why do you go so much? Don't tell them that. But there's a sense of relief. Like, you know what? January's coming, and I don't have to feel that pressure of filling those tags. Not that I don't enjoy it. I love it. I absolutely love it. But there's just a little bit of relief and like, okay, we're in the home stretch. Okay, see, not Bub. PK says that's when you push yourself. Absolutely. I still go, PK. Now come on. Watch it. Watch your tone. I still go, but I'm pushing myself. Daryl says, I've never killed my muzzleloader this weekend. It's going to happen. We believe in you, Daryl.
Good luck, Daryl.
Daryl, where are you hunting? Let us know where you're from. PK says that's when you. Oh, I already read that. Bub said, my 2 best deer ever I took in late season muzzleloader. Okay, they're dispelling your thoughts. Tommy is honest. The motivation kind of goes away after November. It does kind of feel like, man, it gets hard after November.
I'm telling you, dude.
But we don't feel that way early season.
No, you're right.
But we'll talk in a minute why December may even be better than November, right?
Yeah, we can
Anthony is scolding me. How dare you? It can get stressful. Sure. It can. Especially if you're like, I'm hunting all public land for the most part. I killed the buck on private land. It was an easy hunt. It was absolutely a blast. But man, public land's tough. I've been through that. I F up a lot, and I just want to give up. Yeah, I wouldn't even say I've effed up a lot. I would just say like I've got a busy life right now.
Yeah.
Jimmy said taking my buck early season took a lot off my shoulders, and I have taken time off myself. Jimmy's has gotten it done this year. Excellent season.
Yes, great season.
Harold's been waiting. Josh says it's definitely something that happens. I try to change it up in small game hunt to keep the fire lit. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I definitely want to trap some.
Yep.
I
need to go rabbit hunt. We need to go rabbit
every
hunt
day. I would definitely want to rabbit hunt. I have a really nice double barrel shotgun, 20 gauge somewhere. Definitely want to rabbit hunt. Tagging out is always bittersweet. You're happy you did, but sad it's over. The burnout is real. Oh, I missed it. The burnout is real. The thing I learned this season is that it's okay to take a break. I also discovered the less pressure I put on my spots, the more deer I saw in good sits. Don't think I would have filled all 4 tags. That's great. That's great. Oh, he's an Anderson.
That's really
no deer left in my area. Stay home. That's what. Hey, Mark. That's what Mike's saying. He's like, up where you guys live, there's no deer at all. So,
we tend, and Mark, he's probably talked to Uncle Darren about this, but it's one of those things with our places close. Mark probably sees more deer than we do. That's just a guess that I have, but I tell you, man, we have a hard time seeing deer late season. It's pretty rare. Even does, man. We just don't see a lot of deer when it gets late.
Ooh, Anthony just sent a big old bear. Let's see. I do my best. 500. Can I give away the shotgun? Listen, Tony, the last time I gave away a shotgun, Facebook restricted us on almost all things, so I can't do that anymore.
Yep.
And it was my papaw shotgun, so I can't do that at all. Seeing the deer I'm chasing on public land at 300 yards on private land this evening has me fired back up. That'll do it. I think if you're someone like Bub that's going to hunt different states, that's something that could keep you kind of
for sure seeing different land and getting exposed to different things. It definitely keeps you excited.
Absolutely. All right, let's see. All right, so here's why. Let's talk about why you should hunt late season. I think, and I've just kind of thought about that today. One thing about hunting late season is exactly what Mike's talking about. No one thinks it's good. So no one's there, right? I mean, the number of hunters, like we always do our deer camp out in September and early October because no one's hunting. Mm-hmm. It's the same way in December. No one's out there at all. And so you get out there, hunt the deer, less pressure on the deer. What was the last weekend of gun season?
It was about 2 weeks ago? It was before Thanksgiving, I think.
So that is a lot less pressure, and it's just a good time. The other thing is I feel like you can pattern deer pretty good in December.
You can get back to that, yeah.
Right, especially if you're on private land. I mean, they're going to be hitting food. Heck, even at Fort Knox, I was hunting. I'm getting a ton of pictures coming in. Even at Fort Knox, I was hunting a clover field and saw deer all day long. This weekend, I didn't really hunt a food source. I was hunting more of like travel areas and just didn't see anything.
Yeah.
Bub says deer go back to summer patterns and a weather that can be money. Chris is just getting here 30 minutes late.
Honestly, if you hunt tomorrow, you might have a chance to see deer with that temperature drop. Be bow hunting, but getting back after it, tomorrow's that temperature drop, it could certainly happen.
Season ends December 31st in Minnesota. Worth going deep betting, sitting all day, second rut. Oh, you know what? We did have some questions. Mike, why don't you now, first of all, we greatly appreciate Bram Olson. Is it Bram or Bram? Either one. Cool name. But he just mentioned the second rut. Now, PK asked in the group chat, is it even real? So, Mike, give us your spiel on the second hunt there. Second rut.
Yeah. I mean, I'm no biologist, and Kyle Sams would be able to help us out a little bit on that if he was happened to be watching. But there is a second rut. It's typically you kind of typically see that kick in. I don't know. Late November, early December, you could probably catch that going, at least in our area, Kentucky, in most places, kind of very similar to Kentucky. It's probably pretty close. But I'd say late November, early December is when you kind of see that second trickle, and you're not going to see near as much activity as you would, early November or mid November. But you could certainly run into deer, and younger deer also tend to come in later. So, I'm not saying that it's impossible to
Sorry about
see.
that.
No, that's all right. It's not impossible to see
Messed up.
deer, getting chased or you catch a buck chasing a doe or something like that this time of year, but it is getting pretty late. The chances of seeing it a lot slimmer than what you would expect in like mid-November. So it's definitely a big difference. You could still see it, but I wouldn't bank on that being like, the driving force of you getting into the woods. It's going to be very sporadic.
So I think when Tim killed that deer at Fort Knox on Sunday, he said it was chasing a doe within like 50 yards of him. I think we talked about this probably the last 2 or 3 weeks, but the rut is mainly in Kentucky. It's like November 15th. And then those does that don't get bred, and Mike, correct me here if I say something wrong. The does that don't get bred probably around this time, December 10th, December to maybe like the 17th is like a peak second rut, but it's like it's like a tiny one.
It's
a fraction of what took place in November. But then also even a fraction of what happens in December happens again in January. So like January, second week of January, you might see a few. I don't know. I honestly don't know anyone. I know a lot of people who talk about seeing bucks rutting in December. I don't know one person I've ever talked to that's like, man, they're rutting, they're chasing in January. Have you ever heard anybody talk about that?
No,
because it just doesn't happen often.
No, it's not real. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying you're not getting excited about, oh my gosh, I could have the chance of seeing this happen today. If you see it, it's going to be kind of a rare deal and kind of a lucky situation.
Right. Yeah. Right. Eric up in PA says they were chasing last week in PA where he was hunting.
Yeah, Eric, that looked like a fun trip, man. It looked like a nice deer camp. Hope you all had a great time. Saw some pictures.
This is an interesting comment. Fawns are larger this year with the drought. I see a lot more fawns breeding this year.
Fascinating.
Why, Marcus? I'm just curious. Why would they be larger because of the drought? Do you know, Mike?
No, I don't.
I seriously have no idea, Marcus. I believe you. Totally believe you. I just have no idea why that would be true.
Would love to ask Kyle on that one for sure.
Yeah. PK says he thinks the rut in Georgia starts, I think has that rut in January. I know Alabama has a really late rut.
Yep.
I don't know of another state that does, but Alabama does have a really late rut. A lot of people go down there to hunt.
Yeah, for sure.
Tim says, my personal opinion, in a place like Fort Knox, the sheer number of does just makes for a bigger second rut. There's no possible way all of them can be bred during the primary rut. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. Western Kentucky's the same. I mean, the amount of does in Western Kentucky is insane.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's one of those things with Fort Knox, I actually tend to see less deer on that December hunt than I do that second hunt. So I guess that the weekend that's closest to Thanksgiving, I tend to see quite a few deer that weekend, but usually it kind of gets a little bit more tame as far as deer movement on that third weekend for whatever reason. I see less deer.
Chris says, seen a good one tonight, bumping 2 does, not chasing, but keeping them close. So
those are kind of things I'd expect you would see right now still, for sure. Absolutely.
For sure. So WO is here. WO, we just so glad you're here, brother. Gary says, I've always heard the rut gaps are 22 or so days apart. I thought they were 28. Maybe 22 from like the very last to the very beginning. That makes sense. There's a week in there. So let's see what else we got here.
Yeah, Wesley. Yeah, he's saying Florida Panhandle. Yeah,
Rut
I'd say a lot of southern states, their ruts tend to be January.
Maybe carry a little later. And do northern states happen a little earlier? I don't know. Do they northern states happen?
If they are, it's probably not super different from us. It might be, slightly earlier, but probably not very different from us, if I had to guess.
Tommy says, I've had more bucks on camera here the last few weeks than I have all year.
That's a good thing.
I'm trying to get on here just to see how many comments we have. Can someone look and see how many comments we have? Bub made an interesting comment that you're gonna like, Mike. He said Michigan is beating Arkansas right now.
That's interesting.
It's just fun to hate Arkansas basketball, isn't it?
It was fun before
It's just fun.
Cal went there.
Because you hated little guy, you hated little muscleman.
I didn't like him, and honestly, well, I mean, you go back to like the Richardson and you know, gosh, the '90s. They were kind of a hateable program in the '90s. Because they were really good and kind of a rival of Kentucky, and you know, and then they had some good years. You know, it was Nolan. So it was Nolan Richardson. He was the coach there for a while. He was a fiery guy, and you know, when you go against fiery guys like that, you want to beat them, and you know, it's always been like that for me for Arkansas. I've never really liked him, and it just with Cal being there, it kind of makes it extra special when they lose. Hopefully they do. I'm trying to look it up
over on my page. Jason Kenner says, "How about late season fishing?" It's just hard. You know, here's the thing. I have a hard time. Now, not this year because I've got some excitement back. I have a hard time watching basketball before football season's over. Because I mean, most of us would rather watch football.
I saw somebody mention
maybe not most of us because we are Kentucky, but I would much rather watch football than basketball. It's hard for me now as a hunter to talk fishing during hunting season. Now, used to, I've told you this before. I told somebody at work this the other day. When I was just a fisherman, I would be on the water, and I was so glad everyone was out deer hunting. Now, my boat has sat and sat and sat. It needs, like, I'm going to have to get it worked on because it has sat so long.
Mm-hmm.
I just love being out in the woods.
It's funny you say that because I kind of remember like when we first met, you were kind of talking about
I was all in on bass fishing.
And it's like, no, man, you like, I don't get that. I don't get
I still love it. Look, if I'm out there on the water and I catch a 4-pound smallmouth or a 6-pound, I am, oh my gosh, like I am ecstatic. But if you just kill a deer, any deer, man, it's just amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
Woody says, how do we feel about targeting food sources? I noticed after Modern Gun, they do seem jumpy around the old corn pile in high pressure areas, but they still hit it out of desperation. I've also had them come back to minerals too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's probably the best way to kill a buck. The buck you're after in late season is to target, food sources, whether it's a corn pile, a food plot. Look, those radishes and turnips that people plant for late season, they get hammered.
Yeah.
Deer absolutely hammer them. And so if you have a food plot, which a lot of people don't, then that's where to be. But if you don't, put a bag of corn on and they'll out on the ground and they'll come.
Yeah, we're legal. We're legal. Get some corn out there and see if it can help you.
That's Mike saying we're legal, but you don't like hunting over corn, Mike?
No, I've done it before. I have no issue with it. I'm just saying there's some places in Kentucky now where we can't do that, obviously. So
yeah, that's true. That's one thing that PK said earlier is out in Hardin County where he's at.
Yeah.
You can't bait anymore.
Can't do it. So yeah, so I was just emphasizing make sure where you are when you're doing that, make sure it's legal.
And here's the reason why. Just imagine. How can I say this in an appropriate way? Well, let's just not use human examples at all, actually. Just imagine being a buck, a male deer, and you have all these female deer around you that biologically are just ready to have fawns, babies, right?
Yep.
And you're just running after them all day long. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you had a crush on a girl. You probably had a crush on a lot of girls, and you're chasing around the playground all day, and you get back in the classroom and you're sweaty and gross just because you've been chasing these girls. That's how it is with these bucks. They're just chasing these deer for a month, give or take a month.
A lot of traveling.
And they lose weight. Their energy's depleted. And then after that, they're thinking about eating and surviving again until they get another little whiff of does that want to be pregnant again. So just imagine that, and that's it. They're trying to fuel back up. I mean, you'll see bucks go from like these big necks, and then in December, it's like, wow, what happened to that buck?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know the average buck loses how many pounds during the rut? Do you know?
Great question. Off the top of my head, I don't.
Here we go. Somebody put it in the chat. The average buck loses how many pounds during the rut? Google it, find it, or just guess and put it in the chat. We're trying to get 500 comments, guys. Mike secretly doesn't want 500 comments because he doesn't want to give that hat away.
That's all right, man. It's one I had extra out there, so
that's a nice hat.
Yeah.
We probably should have done that before gun season.
Probably, but it's muzzleloading.
There's always the next gun season for most of us.
For sure.
Some of us maybe not, but for most.
Yeah, I saw something I wanted to kind of get to. I don't know if you've heard anything recently. Yeah, we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but Mark was mentioning, have we heard anything about there potentially going to be a statewide ban next year? I don't think we've heard that.
I haven't heard that. Listen, that's not happening. That's not happening. I have, when I was 17, Chris said when he was 17, 18, he lost 60 pounds. Chris was getting after it. 12 to 18 pounds, Jim says. I don't know if that's a guess or if that is a Googled answer. Around 30% body weight is lost for the rut. That's a lot.
It is.
Like an average buck, let's just say an average buck weighs 150 pounds. What's 30% of that? Hurry.
It's
45 pounds.
Yeah. What I was going to say was that's probably very accurate. I see Mark said 40 to 60. I think somewhere in that range is probably extremely accurate. I mean, these deer, you've seen the studies that the NDA does all the time where they've tracked bucks that have traveled like 12 miles. It's they go a long way, and then so just cruising for does, they travel a long way, and then that's getting into the chasing and the actual breeding process. So it's a ton of energy. You're exactly right.
Bub said the best deer he ever took was looked crazy, had a small body with 160-inch rack after the rut. Yeah. Chris was really chasing. He's talking about Chris. Chris was really chasing. Absolutely. So, did you already read this? Okay. What he says to emphasize, he's still talking about hunting food sources. To emphasize, I mainly put out corn for my kids.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like they're eating the kids. I don't know if the kids are eating the corn, but I know what you mean. I hunt small kill plots, food sources, travel corridors. I'm not ashamed to put some out for me, though.
Nope.
If I don't have one in the freezer. I did notice while doing some scouting today, they have been tearing up briar shoots and digging up the last of the acorns. Well, there you go. Woody, it sounds like you're on it. It sounds like you're doing everything the right way. You just got to close. You just got to get out there when the big deer are.
Yeah.
Mark says Google says 220, 240 pounds in a rut by January, 180 pounds.
That sounds about right.
There you go. Ozempic. Let's see. Marcus. Yearling bucks have bigger bodies than 2-3-year-old bucks right now. I'm still worried about the trout.
I was going to say we have some clover fields right now that are still green. I don't think we've had enough weather, or bad weather, I should say, to kill those clover plots. I mean, if you've got clover on your place, or if you've got winter wheat, we've found that winter wheat's really good. We planted winter wheat back in the early fall. Early fall, and it's coming on right now, and deer are using it a lot. So any type of green field they're going to get back on. Late, if there was a place with a lot of acorns, specifically if you had a lot of red oaks or pin oaks, there's a little bit more acidic in the early fall, right after they fall. That's why deer like white oaks so much. They're not as acidic. But right now, if there's a lot of those leftover red oaks on the ground, they're less acidic now. So that would actually be a good thing to find in the woods if you were looking for something, or a food source. If there's a place that where some red oaks had fallen and there was a lot of them and they're still there, you could definitely catch some deer coming to some stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, gotcha. Do you guys have a winter food plot, Mike?
Yeah, we do. We have winter wheat and buck forage oats kind of mixed together. We also have antler builder turnips and radishes mixed in with some buck forage oats. And Those didn't. We probably got those out. That was honestly, we planted that like right during that drought. So they came in, but they never really fully matured. But they're still green, and they're there's still some small forage in there as well. And yeah, right now, once that frost, we really haven't had that bad of weather yet. So they're hitting that stuff, but they're going to hit it even more once they get to that point where things start to get frozen. That's when we start to find them hitting our turnips and radishes and things of that nature.
Yeah, Marcus mentioned the drought. We talk about this every year, but just the effect that weather has. Like it's still like I think Thursday is going to be really cold. Maybe this weekend is going to be really cold. But we still not had it's been a very mild winter.
It's been very mild.
Very mild winter. And, data shows that the weather doesn't really affect deer movement, but there's not one hunter that agrees with that. So I've stopped trying to say, hey, but the data says I'm just going with everyone else. So when it's colder, I'm just going to say deer move more.
Yeah.
Not to switch gears here, but I was looking through the group chat, and man, they really blew that group chat up right before here. But I was looking through the group chat. Here's the other question that someone had. What is your best way to prepare deer? So not just like you're going to cut the back straps up and you're going to fry them and eat, but what is your best wild game recipe? Now, someone sent me today, I think it was today or yesterday, where they had took their deer, made like a deer beef stew. It's not a beef stew, a venison stew. It looked really good. I don't know. What is your favorite way to prepare wild game? It doesn't have to be a deer, just any wild game. That was something, my buddy guy I work with, he went to his girlfriend's families for Thanksgiving up in Illinois, and they went, sorry, I'm getting a text. They went duck hunting. And so for Thanksgiving, he said they donate most of the ducks because they have like a duck hunting club. So they're all, fill the freezers. But he said, they always have duck for Thanksgiving. It's not duck you buy, it's duck they shot out of the air. And so he was just he's not really a hunter. He just duck hunts with them. He was he liked it very much. I don't know a better way to say it.
Yeah.
So,
don't want to get too off topic, but speaking of duck hunting, I hated that Duck Dynasty star Phil is struggling so bad with his health. As soon as you said duck, that's what I thought.
Listen, I started to. So you guys may have seen this, and I'm sure everybody here's a Duck Dynasty fan. I saw the post from his granddaughter, Sadie. Is that her name?
Yeah.
I saw Sadie. There's a deer stew right there. Saw Sadie say that Phil has Alzheimer's, and I started to share it and comment because my grandpa had it.
Yeah.
So I was born in 86. He started developing it in around 86, and I think he passed away in 96. So for 10 years, he just wasn't himself.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like the last grandkid he had that knew him a little bit, but by the time I was old enough to really have a relationship with him, he was gone.
Yeah.
And then I watched my dad's brother-in-law. Now, my papa developed it at a little later age, which is slower. But I watched my dad's brother-in-law. He developed it in his early 50s. And it was like, this guy was a businessman. He was very intelligent, great dude, and just like in 2 or 3 years, dead.
Yeah.
From it. And it's a horrible disease.
It is. Yeah.
It is honestly... Everybody's still talking about wild game, so I'm sorry to put a date.
No, we'll jump back to that.
If there's one thing that I do not want to end my life, it's Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
And I just hate that this guy who, first of all, just has impacted thousands and thousands of folks, but also that is just so well-spoken and knowledgeable and full of wisdom that we lose that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I just hate it. And
Well,
look, it makes
me
sad.
Of.
Yeah, it makes me sad because of, I've known 2 people that's had it, and it's sad. But I just can't imagine how his family feels. Like he is the patriarch of the family, right?
Yeah, so, I just went to a layout of someone who passed away from complications.
It ends in death. There's no cure. Like it doesn't kill you, but you die with it. So, All right, let's go back and Chris had deer roast, potatoes, and carrots for supper tonight.
Yep.
Bub made a Mississippi roast today. Bub, what makes it a Mississippi roast is what I'm wondering. Look, we're just killing it with the roast. Joe had a roast. Now, Marcus, did we talk about this last week? Or was it just in the group chat? Canned deer meat is awesome. I don't think we talked about it on the show. Excuse me, but Tim, our buddy Tim, cans deer meat. PK talked about canning deer meat. I asked someone about it. I don't remember who. Maybe my Uncle Sammy at Thanksgiving. But they love canning deer meat.
Yeah.
It makes me want to can deer meat. We'll see.
Yeah. My cousin James, him and his wife, they do that on their YouTube channel. They've canned deer.
There you go. What's it called?
How to do it? Collins Country, I believe.
Collins Country.
Yeah.
Gary Cott says you have to go with what you see going on where you actually hunt. Oh, he's still talking about deer movie. You're right, Gary. I agree with you. Neck roast. Okay. I cooked up deer roast today, deer chili, and deer stew. I reached out to an expert for a recipe. Shout out to PK for the marinade. Listen, it just doesn't get better than PK.
No.
Like when I get off here, I literally haven't eaten like all day. So when I get off here, I'm going to make some rice and some beef and some things just the way I have a routine now of how I eat every day, trying to get healthier, Mike,
Love it.
And usually for dinner, I have some portion of rice and chicken or beef made the way PK makes it because he's just the best.
Yeah, it's solid.
Let's see. Ground venison. What's that say? What is that?
I'm gonna say Babodi.
Babodi, okay. Ground venison Babodi. Jordan says one of our favorites is maple bourbon bacon backstrap. Maple bourbon bacon backstrap on the grill. Josh says, love me some venison, but I made barbecue squirrel wings.
That's probably good too.
Hey, there you go, Josh. Next time turkey camp, Josh, bring some. Brooks says, I usually do deer roast. We have like several women in here tonight. Love it.
Love it.
Love doing, I usually do deer roast. Fried deer is my favorite, and then jerky. Oh, I got to make some jerky this weekend. Can't pick a favorite way to eat it, but deer is our main source of red meat. Love it. Loman shared a link. Is it to a recipe? I don't know. Well, we'll have to wait and find out. My food plot to Domain Seeds. Is that a brand, I guess? I really love deer soup. You don't hear that much. But now PK is from the island of Rota, R-O-T-A. It's owned by the United States. I don't know what you'd call it. Man, the guy just knows how to throw down in the kitchen. He says, I really love deer soup, shanks, tendons, neck meat, and bones, and bones, and bones. Add some taro, plantains, and coconut milk with cherry tomatoes and kale. We call it, go ahead, Mike.
I'm going to say
Benadu.
Kadun Benadu.
Benadu. Yeah, Benadu, whatever. So there you go. Get some shanks, some tendons, some neck meat, some bones. Add some taro, some plantains, coconut milk with cherry tomatoes and kale. Bam. No one here has ever made that except for him. I guarantee.
It sounds amazing. That's what I'm thinking. I do like what WO says here, though. WO said it's not healthy to eat at 10 o'clock at night, John. He's right. It's not.
Yeah, seriously, I bet I had a protein bar that's 160 calories for breakfast. I've had nothing else. So I think I can spare 1,000 calories.
It's not necessarily that. It's just like laying down with food and like it can.
Oh, I'll stay up. I'll stay up way past that.
Yeah.
Because the other thing I need to fix is my sleep. Listen, I didn't come here to be criticized, guys. Okay.
Hey, you just need to get you an old fashioned BiPAP machine like me, man. Get you a BiPAP machine.
Can I just be honest? Can I just be honest for a second? This is all I've had. It's a lot of Coke Zero with a little bourbon. And where I haven't eaten, like my face is on fire. Like look, it's red.
Yeah, I see it.
So I'm empty. I gotta do something.
Yeah, eat something.
Let's see. I'm sorry, Brooke, I didn't read it. Next deer we get, I want to do canned deer and deer bone broth for the deer soup. I got sent a recipe today for the deer soup.
Excellent.
I think
I
I
know.
want to do the deer canning too. I might need some. Now, my mom and dad canned all the time. Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got green beans in my pantry for my mom and dad. I don't know. I'm just intrigued by it. It's something your kids can do with you, maybe. I don't know.
Yep.
Trying to get them involved. Taco salad. Now, my kids love deer, so we do things like spaghetti, tacos. I don't know what else we do. What's the other thing they like? Oh, taco soup, chili. We do all those things. They like that. Well, Ellis does. Nora's a weird eater anyway. So we do that. But for me personally, I try to mix it up and do things a little more creative. I think Dwayne Best mentioned canned deer meat. You know what? We're missing Dwayne tonight.
Yes, we are. Hope he's doing well.
I don't even know if he's in the group chat today.
Actually, you know what? Another shout out I want to throw out there is Scott Butler, who usually is joining us on the show. He's going through kind of recovery of the heart surgery that he had about a week ago, or a little less than. So, best wishes to him, and hope he continues to heal.
Yeah, absolutely. Gordy said something too. Gordy said he lost his mom to Alzheimer's, and that's just terrible, Gordy. We're sorry.
That's awful.
Scott Butler, I don't think he's watching. I think he would have said something. So Scott went in for heart surgery. It didn't go the way they wanted it to. So he's got a long road ahead of him. I mean, he's still here, thank God, and he's working through it, and he seems to be in with a good outlook and perspective. So just pray for Scott, man. He's we love him. He's part of the community here, and yeah, man, we're just pulling for him. I hate it. I've talked to him a little bit. I don't really know what else to say except for, just keep him in your prayers. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Bobo tea is how you say it. We don't know what that is. I know what boba tea is, like the little things in the bottom of the tea. It's disgusting. Yeah. My daughter loves it. Woody says, Woody, can I just say, I don't know if you've watched the show before, Woody. I don't remember seeing you. You have really contributed a lot tonight, and we appreciate that. We're here every Tuesday at 9. Sometimes it's a lot of nonsense, but we love a good conversation if you've added to that. So make sure to continue coming to see us. Woody says, love canning deer, quick and easy meals, aside from the marinated and fried deer steaks. Throw that neck in the crock pot, whip up an au jus, I know how to say that, and let it cook, and then make French dip sandwiches.
Dang, that sounds phenomenal.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. I don't know if you guys do this. Let me know if you guys do this. The best deer I've ever had was my friend had some backstrap that he made using a sous vide. You know what that is, Mike?
I've heard of it. I don't know.
So you basically put it in like, when you freeze your deer and you put it in, I'm not shrink wrap, but what's it called? Like you seal it, vacuum seal it. When you vacuum seal it, you take that vacuum sealed deer, you put it in water, and that sous vide sits in there, and it keeps the water a certain temperature, and it cooks that steak to the perfect temperature. So you ever been to Malone's?
Yeah.
That's how they do their steak, right? Wonderful steak at Malone's. That's how they do their steak. So the best deer I've ever had was a deer that was cooked, sous vide. It just was like butter in your mouth. It was just amazing. Brooks says, I've heard the deer broth is better than any broth. I've canned turkey and chicken broth, so I'm excited for deer broth. You got it going on, Brooke. It's not healthy. W.O., no one asked. Okay.
No, he's just worried about you, man. You don't want to get heartburn.
I thanks, W.O. I make so many good meals from deer. It's hard to just pick one. Deer heart is so good too. Grilled the peppers and onions. Yeah, I was disappointed when I killed this deer a few weeks ago. Just destroyed its heart. I didn't want to do that, but better than it being alive. Deer jerky on Sunday. What do you guys use for your deer jerky? I don't remember what I used last year, but it turned out really good, and I can't wait to make it this week. We have some crappie fillet, the freezer, and next week may be the perfect time to fire up the deep fryer. There you go. Roast the bones, make broth. Thank me later. Your face is blood red. I know, man. I know. It's this, and that's why I've only taken like 3 drinks. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't plan for that to happen. No, the jar was water, Chris. Oh, Dwayne's on here? I don't know. I've not seen him. Let's see. What is the comment count? Not enough, bub. Not enough. And we only have 5 minutes left.
One thing I will say is just in case you might be watching, because it's been shared on like your page. Some people comment from like
No,
your
I
stuff.
look. I look.
Did
I
you
look.
look?
237. It's a week.
That's what I saw too. Yeah.
It's a weeknight. Hold on. Let me see. Let me check mine. Last time it was very low. Hold on. I see Bub shared it on his page.
It helps if you're watching obviously from the page because then that's kind of where most of the comments come in. So you just kind of got to
12
watch.
on my page, just 12.
That's not. So mainly everybody's on the main page, so we're good.
Yep. Alex Sarver is over there. He makes a blackberry balsamic vinegar tenderloin.
That sounds awesome as
Does
well.
sound good.
Yeah, that sounds terrific.
And he said his grandpa died of Alzheimer's. That's terrible. Doug says, read my comment. Doug says, I'm wore out from getting up so early. Sure, it is hard getting up early.
Was that Clax? Clayton?
No, no, but I saw him somewhere on here.
I'm pretty sure he and I never heard how they did down at Fort Knox. We
appreciate it, Woody.
They were down there as well. Doug and my dad and Uncle Darren, I'm pretty sure, went down there.
Yeah, let's see. Bobo tea is a South African dish. Ground deer, mango, chutney.
Yep.
Raisins, curry powder, garam masala, bread topped with egg and heavy cream baked. I don't know. All I know is that one time I worked at a school and this African restaurant catered our lunch.
Yeah.
Not a fan. Sorry. Not a fan.
I don't know that I've had a whole lot of African cuisine myself, but I eat anything, man. I'll try anything.
Yeah, this was just not. I'm really not a fan. We made deer stew from a leftover. This has been a very popular topic. PK brought this up, I think. We made deer stew from a leftover blade roast off my buck tonight. That was fire. By the way, best jerky marinade: soy sauce, brown sugar, salt, pepper, onion, garlic. Let that sit in the fridge till your meat is almost candied. Then dehydrate. Best of ever. I think, Woody, I did almost exactly that. Instead of soy sauce, I used that Dell seasoning. You know what I'm talking about, Mike? The Dell.
Yep.
And then I added a little of like the hickory smoke liquid into that, like liquid smoke, I think it's called. Yeah. Bub, quit trying. Bub, listen, you can't cheat your way, guys. You can't cheat your way to 500. You can't put every word in the sentence. You can't cheat your way to 500. Come on.
I don't think
you can't do that. It's got to be natural. I don't think you're going to get there anyway.
Hey, one thing I did want to point out, Chris Robinson,
just like a politician.
Chris Robinson's in the comments right now. I actually he's from Owen County. I ran into him at the Walton Verona Tractor Supply just about a week or so ago, and it was great to just stand in the store and chat with him. And I appreciate, I told him I thanked him for watching the show and being a part of the community and just coming in and spending time with us. So it was really cool to kind of run into him at Tractor Supply. It was neat.
There you go. Oh yeah. You know what? It's always fun when it doesn't happen a lot, but sometimes, like especially if I'm wearing my like Eastern Outdoors hoodie or shirt or something.
Yeah.
They'll be like, Are you John?
Like, that's what happened at Tractor Supply. He's kind of like, I'm pretty sure. So he walked over. He's like, that's you, Mike. How's it going? I was like, hey, it was cool.
No, it's really cool. Unless they don't like us, and then it's like, oh, But no, it's always fun. I actually love it. If my girls are with me, they just think it's the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
And so hey, I mean, I say every week we have millions of followers or millions of views, millions of people watch it. We can't. It's right, Jordan. Bub is a politician. He's trying to manipulate the comment count. Not going to work. Not going to get there. We're at about 290 right now. So,
we ought to do. We gotta do some type of, and I don't know if it's an ebook or what, but we gotta do like a community recipe book and just share it with everybody.
Okay,
that'd be a lot of fun. Like literally, just all of us here, like just share, like, and we can put it in like a written form to where we could like create a book and just share it with everybody that's in here. That'd be a lot of fun.
We could. That'll work. I'm trying to share right now.
I got a fun question for you.
Go for it.
We're talking about food. What type of does anybody use deer for breakfast? And
Like
if you
sausage, like
do,
breakfast
yeah,
sausage?
just do you make meals for breakfast with deer? And if you do, or wild game in general, just let me know in the comments. I'm curious to see if people use it more. Obviously, I think a lot of people use it for dinner purposes, but if you use it
Yeah.
for breakfast, let me know. I'm curious.
All right. While people are doing that, WO said he has 2 good bucks still coming in, and
Awesome.
let's show them to you. This is the first one. Now, see, you can see that guy's lost some weight. Can you tell there?
Yeah.
His neck's still big, but look at his body. That guy's
Mhm.
coming back in. There's the food over there somewhere. Yeah, that guy's lost weight. And then here, can you see that one?
Yeah. That's a
Yeah,
pretty
that
buck
one you
too.
can't really tell, but yeah, that's a nice one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe a 9 pointer. Yeah, that was coming in. I don't know, 12, 10. Oh, that was today.
It looks like a 10
Oh, that
pointer
was
to me,
2
for
hours
sure.
ago, actually.
Yeah,
2 hours
that's a
ago.
nice one.
So
That looks like a cool
10 pointer,
ridge
1,
too.
2, 3. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So they're still there, Mike. Despite what Michael says, they're still there.
They're still there. They're not. They
Yeah.
haven't gone missing. They just tend to skirt me when I'm there.
Caleb says yes. I make breakfast and fried deer meat is great, even dipped in gravy.
Mm.
Caleb, what's not great dipped in gravy? Come on, like seriously. Look at this. Hold on, I'm going to show Chris's picture first. Now, Chris said he don't have any bucks coming in on the farm, but he has this one. And then I want to show PK's picture. And if you want to see what, well, crap. If you want to see what PK cooks up in the kitchen, just hang on a second. So this is Gary's, not Gary. I just saw his comment. This is a buck coming in. Can you see that, Mike?
Yeah,
That's the buck coming in on Christian's farm.
that's a cool buck.
Or maybe his farm. I don't know. I don't know if that's his farm. But and then if you want to see what PK does in the kitchen,
We also need to show Tim's buck.
look at there. Now you could just look at that. Let's say you're not a kale guy, right? I don't mind kale if it's cooked like this. Does that look delicious or what?
It looks amazing.
I promise you, if you could zoom out and see the whole of his kitchen, he's also got a gigantic rice cooker, which he calls the Cadillac of rice cookers.
That's awesome.
That he has rice in it every single day, probably multiple times a day.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Gary Gooden says, FYI, 122 days till turkey season, opening day. There you go. Tenderloin and eggs. There you go. Sent one to your page decent. Chris, if you sent it, let's see if I got it, Chris. I'm going to have to go in just a second. Okay, yeah, I see it, Chris. Wow, this is a really nice buck. Marcus says he's not at liberty to show you the biggest buck I have on camera. That's okay, Marcus. We're cool. It's cool.
all good. Yeah,
Marcus, go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say I had somebody reach out yesterday and said if they were to share this, that it would be the talk of the town. So I totally get it. I get it. But and the person that shared it's a monster.
Well, and Mike's probably the same way. I get photos. I won't say daily right now. During the prime of deer season, daily, yep. I get photos weekly right now of nice bucks that people say, "Hey, don't show this on your page," but I just want to share this. So
yeah, that does happen to me as well. It's cool.
I was showing a guy at work the other day. We were talking about hunting public land, and he was like, "So you hunt public land?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's." I don't have any private land. That's pretty much all I do. And I said, yeah, these pins that I have, like I have a few hundred pins all over Kentucky. Most of them are not pins where I've been. They're people that send them to me. Like, hey, check out this spot. Or, hey, I saw a huge buck here. And rarely do I go hunt those places. One, because I've not put in the work. I hate going in blind. But I don't share them either. I don't give them out. Sure. But this same guy saw a huge buck in a place that I had actually hunted before. He's like, hey, have you ever hunted this area, this WMA? And I'm like, yeah. And I pulled up my Onyx. He's like, that's exactly where I saw that buck. So Maybe I'll go there next week. But anyway,
Sure.
yeah. Let's see. Sent you the 10-point, made it through rifle season. Let's see here. This will be the last one right here.
Show Tim's buck. Wrap that one up with Tim's buck.
Will you find it?
Yeah.
Oh, is that the same person? Jimmy, I don't see it. Did you send it to me or the group chat? Okay, here it is, Jim. I see it. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Hey, Marcus, I appreciate it, man. We try to do good every week. Some weeks are better than others. Some weeks are just more to talk about. But ultimately, man, I just like getting on here and talking to you guys. I look forward to it every Tuesday. I would like to do it. I would like to do just a show, like a live, like one other day a week, where I just get on and talk. I just get on and talk to you guys about whatever is going on in the world.
Yeah.
Just because I enjoy it. Like right now it would be I'd love to get on here and talk about this guy, this Luigi guy they just caught in McDonald's, who is a hitman. I don't know what he is. You know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Yeah, that guy's a goober.
That's fun to talk about stuff like that. Yeah, he is.
It is. It's a crazy story.
But we got to keep it about deer on here. But yeah, I just like getting on here and talking and acting a fool. And man, I had my face was on fire today. I was sitting here like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go in a second, but it's cooled off now. That's kind of a little embarrassing, honestly. Let's see. Who else? I'm showing Jimmy's deer. You guys are like overloading with pictures right now. So if I don't get to them, I'm sorry. Now, have we not shown this one already? Surely we've shown this one.
Which one?
Well, I'm going to show you. I mean, look at my smiling little buddy here. Look at that happiness. Look at the joy that comes from that buck. Look at that.
That's a monster
Look at Gary Cott. I showed this to somebody. They're like, oh, wow, look at the, like it's front antlers. I don't know what you call those, G somethings. Like, I don't know how close that is, but that's pretty cool how they just are curling in.
Yeah. That's a dandy buck, man. I'm so happy for Gary.
I thought we had shown that, Gary. I'm so sorry if we haven't.
We've seen it. He shared it with us. Maybe we didn't share it here, but that's an absolute dandy. And congratulations.
They want me to keep going. See, this is they're playing my. Listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and stop. And if you want that orange hat, you got to come back next week. Right? Unless we're at 500 right now. But if not, you got to come back next week. We'll plan a big show. I'll find something else to give away. Tomorrow, yeah, we're at 349. Tomorrow, I'm going to get, if you won, Tony Rittenauer, Nicholas Caps. I got the other one somewhere. If you won, I'm sending your stuff out tomorrow. But listen, we appreciate you guys. And you didn't get it. You didn't get 500. It's 9 minutes over. You didn't get 500. And this is a good learning lesson. Next time, talk more. Next time, invite your friends. Right? So, look, Anthony, I got to go. My stomach is eating itself right now. Like, I'm starving. I'm pretty sure my youngest daughter has a TV on upstairs. I'm going to bust her tail. And I'm tired, man. I'm still in my work clothes. But listen, I seriously, I love you guys. PK, listen. Also, December 20th, I know Mike's not going to, but I'm going to be at Fort Knox with my archery tag December 20th, 21st, 22nd. That's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know where I'm going to sleep. I don't know if I'm going to book a hotel with a friend or sleep in my truck or do something. But I would love, if you have an archery tag at Fort Knox, for you to join us that weekend. Good chance you're going to see at least does, right? Very good chance you're going to see does. But you might just see a gigantic buck come through like Tim did on Sunday. Oh, I didn't show Tim's. We'll wrap it up with Tim's. You're right, Mike. Let's see.
This is a dandy Fort Knox buck, too.
It's a dandy buck anywhere.
Yep.
Let's see. Where's old Timothy? Here it is. See, Tim and I also talk about our medical issues. I've got a pinched nerve in my leg.
That's not fun.
Right now, it doesn't really hurt, but right now it's driving me insane. Right now, it has. If you keep seeing me like do this all night for the last 30 minutes, it's because that stupid pinched nerve.
Yeah.
And you know what the chiropractor said it was from? It started doing it after opening weekend of rifle, where I sat in the same spot for 10 hours in a row for 2 days. He's like, yeah, bro, that's definitely what did it. And so, anyway. All right, let's end this with Timothy's. I don't think he's on here anymore. But just imagine being there. He's already killed a buck with his Kentucky tag. Now he's using his Fort Knox tag, and this is why you need to get your Fort Knox registration. Look at that. Is that not a nice buck? Don't you love that? Where it's got like that? What's it called? Like a palmation or palmation?
Little bit. Yeah, he's got
little, just wide,
heavy.
What do you guys think about that? Isn't that good?
Yeah. Yeah, that's real good, man.
Yeah. So there you go.
Absolute dandy.
But anyway, listen, we appreciate you guys. You didn't reach the 500 comments. I'm sorry. You let us down. You let yourself down. You didn't let us down. You let yourself down, right? I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. So look, next week, Mike has really, I mean, that's a great prize.
I would like to. I know a ton of people have reached out to us about these. One thing we can do is if you want to message me if you're interested.
Not until we give the first one away. We got to give the first one away first.
Yeah, we will. We will. I just was going to kind of tell everybody.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Next week is December 17th. We won't do one. Do you want to do one Christmas Eve? Let's vote real quick. We got 29 people. Who will watch if we do on Christmas Eve? Vote. Mike, you don't have to do it. My girls will be at their mom, so I'm good. I
got you. Yeah, we've got stuff going on that night. Yeah,
I'll be at my mom's too, and she has good internet. Who will watch if we do it Christmas Eve night? Anyone? It doesn't have to be I think we already have 2,000 views. We've been getting like 10 to 14,000 views on them. Who will watch if we do it Christmas Eve night? No one's responding. Michigan's up by 4 at halftime.
There we go.
Anthony, I knew Anthony would. So anyway, maybe Christmas Eve, but next week will probably be like our Christmas episode.
Yep.
Right? I might wear a Santa hat, Mike. I don't know.
There we go.
So yeah, next week we'll do some Christmas stuff. This will be, Mike, if you ship this if somebody wins this hat next Tuesday and you ship it, normal time, 9:00, Tommy. We might do an after hour special. I don't know. Watch for Santa Claus. Santa Claus watch. Mike, if you do this and you ship it the 18th, they should get it by Christmas.
I would think so.
Unless it's like somebody in, California wins, but they should get it by Christmas. Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
So awesome. Next week, 500 comments, giving away the Prime Blaze Orange Eastern Outdoors Media hat to some lucky winner. But you gotta be here. You gotta comment to win. But anyway, really appreciate you guys. Like we say every week, this show has gotten bigger and bigger, and I think next year is going. It's just going to continue to grow. Our page is starting to grow again. Just so thankful. If you're not killed your buck, don't listen to Mike. Get out there and hunt.
I'm not saying don't hunt. It's just hard.
Get it done. But seriously, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys, and have a good week. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Have a good week.